Keek on the mic, Keek on the mic. Keek on the mic, Keek on the mic. People, this the intro.
Talk bad about my team, you must be a clown. This is Keek on the mic, so you know you better bear down. Bear down.
Hey, what's going on, Bears fans? Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Keek on the Mic, the podcast all about the Chicago Bears. Like always, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Make sure you also follow me on all my social media platforms to stay connected with all Keek on the Mic news. So, Bears fans, I wanted to come on here and give you guys a little bit of update in terms of HBO Hard Knocks. If you haven't heard of the show, every single season in training camp, the NFL or HBO picks one team that has not a first-year head coach, missed the playoffs the last 2 seasons, and hasn't been on the show the last 10 years to be on HBO Hard Knocks. And it's basically just an inside look of that team's training camp. Obviously, if you guys heard the news, before minicamp even started, the Bears were actually one of the nominees to be on the show. Also, the other teams included were the Jets, Commanders, and the Saints. Chicago Bears are also very unlikely to be on the show. George McCaskey came out and said, no, we are not interested in being on Hard Knocks. And it looks like HBO is going to grant the Chicago Bears their wish and not make the Chicago Bears be on the show. Because for a while there, it was looking like, or at least sounding like, that HBO Hard Knocks was going to force the Chicago Bears to be on the show. And that would have sucked, because obviously, if George McCaskey didn't want to be on the show, that means he didn't want to be on the show. But it sounds like the Commanders, if selected, will in fact take that spot on Hard Knocks. Mike Florio actually had this to say: I'm told the NFL has moved on to other teams that aren't in that short list of 4 that can be forced to do it. This is what Mike Florio had to say about the whole Hard Knocks situation. Bears fans, I know as a fan, we would probably be very excited if the Chicago Bears were on HBO Hard Knocks. I feel like it's an incredible series. But at the same time, it can also be very distracting for an organization, especially when you look at the Chicago Bears. They have a lot of stuff going on. They have a third-year emerging quarterback in Justin Fields. They have DJ Moore, right? They have a bunch of added pieces on the defense side of the football. They have the whole stadium thing going on for them as well. So I can see why the NFL wanted them to be on Hard Knocks. Of course, they met the criteria to be on the show, but at the same time, the Bears have a lot going on. This is a team that can ideally go from worst to first in one offseason. So I can understand why the NFL was so adamant of trying to get the Chicago Bears on, but you have to realize that it's very, very distracting. And I don't think that we need those distractions. We need to be focused. We were the worst team in the National Football League last year. So as much as a fan as I am, and as much as I wanted to see the Chicago Bears on the show, I can understand where George McCaskey and the Chicago Bears organization is coming from, because it can be very distracting. We don't want people seeing our plays. We don't want people to see an inside look of what we got going on here. And the Chicago Bears actually already have their own little series in 1920, The Football Drive. So it's pretty well produced, and it's just like HBO Hard Knocks. But they don't show every little detail. If you ever seen the show Hard Knocks, they show every bit of detail. It's a really good series. Don't get me wrong, but they do show a lot. And I'm pretty sure the Bears are just very private. The McCaskey family has always been very private about their organization, and I don't want everyone around to know what's going on inside the organization like that. So I can understand where they're coming from. It would have been a great opportunity as a fan to watch that, to see what's going on inside. Justin Fields, DJ Moore, the offense side of the ball, defense side of the ball, the Chicago Bears organization in general, what's going on. And that's what Hard Knocks would have given us as fans. But we have to push that aside just for one moment, understand that it would have been very distracting for these players, especially going into hopefully a very big season for Justin Fields and the Chicago Bears football team. So I just wanted to come on here and give you guys that quick update that the Chicago Bears are very unlikely to actually be on HBO Hard Knocks after being reported before that they would probably be forced to do it. But they will most likely not be on the show after all. So I just want to come on here and give you guys that quick update. Before I let you guys go, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Make sure you follow me on all my social media platforms, and make sure you share this episode of Keek on the Mic with every single Bears fan you know. But other than that, back for all new Bears podcasts right here on Keek on the Mic. Thanks, guys, and bear down.
You've been listening to Keek on the Mic. a podcast all about the Chicago Bears. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Thanks, guys, and bear down.